Free Zanna songs with every coffee bag. Find Zanna Coffee at www.zannacoffee.com www.zannacoffee.com. Get your coffee bag now. Don't be cheap. Life is too short and you deserve the best. Zanna Coffee. Final segment of Final Hour. You're listening to Love, Guns and Freedom with Luca Zanna on K-Talks 1340 AM. This is normally the hour about love, as you heard. But for me also there is another love. We are here in this world as human beings. But I really like the idea that we're also sovereign citizens of sovereign nations. I don't buy the crap of global citizenship. I respect national sovereignty, our national sovereignty, and other countries' national sovereignty. But at the same time, I really tell you, it's beautiful when you have human beings from around the world, Americans, Germans, Italians, whatever they are, united together to expose this global tyranny of this predatory system, parasitic system called the New World Order. Now, I have the opportunity in the last few years, especially through Facebook, to meet incredible people that they are from other countries, and I know they are proud to be citizens of their countries, and I know that, at least for what I know, they don't buy the crap of we are global citizens. We are Americans, we are Germans, but at the same time we are united as human beings to defeat and expose these globalists. That's why I really like this idea, at least for me. And so I have with me today a guest that I had already a few times. Is a very smart man from Germany that has been following what happened and what's happening to his country. A country that unfortunately is completely under attack by these globalists. And they try to destroy its sovereignty and destroy their borders that they're already gone, especially since now it's part of the European community, and it's been invaded, according to the Kalergi plan. We already talked about that in the past. But now I would like to ask some questions today, because I'm really concerned that something very serious is going to happen or may happen in Europe right now in the next few days or maybe next few weeks. And let's talk with Jorg. Jorg from Germany. Jorg, are you there?
Hi, Luca. Yes, I'm here.
What do you think?
Thanks to be on your show again.
Thank you very much for staying here. What do you think about my statement? When people tell me, oh, I'm a global citizen, I like to be called an American, and I like people to call them, that everybody, we have our own nations and we have our sovereignty in our nations. Are you for this global citizenship, or you are for to be proud to be a sovereign citizen of your state, of your nation?
First, you have to know that Germany is almost occupied country since 1945 by America. So we're not sovereign country.
No, I know.
But
It's true, you have a situation after the war. But the point, I think every nation, why it is so important to have borders, why it's so important to be sovereign nation. Because first of all, you have your identity, your culture, your laws.
uh,
And if you don't like it, you can change it. You can go to another place. And but now, if we become all one global government, we're going to have one global central power, and we will have a global central tyranny. That's why it's so concerning. I tell you, I like the idea that I remember when I was in Italy, I used to love the idea to go to Germany, and I knew there was a different world, different place, different language, different people. And I like that because I was in another country. If I wanted to go to Switzerland, it was another world. Now you go to Germany, it seems like you go to, I don't know, to Syria or to North Africa. I mean, almost. Seriously, I mean, it's another country. Culturally, economically, it's getting there. But we will go there now with some questions. First of all, how is the weather right now in Germany? I'm just curious. Is already fall? Is already
well,
autumn?
I'm so happy. It's the third day today. We have temperatures, I tell it in Europe, by 30 degrees
Wow,
here in Hamburg.
that's pretty good.
I don't know in Fahrenheit,
Yeah.
therefore I say degrees.
That's pretty good, especially now, it's already start to get fall. Now, I have some question for you. First of all, what is the situation right now in Germany for the economy, for the working man? I'm not talking about for the big bankers or for the big industry, but for the working man especially now with this big new, let's say, weight that you have to carry to support all these hundreds of thousands of refugees, as they want to call them.
Let's say the economy actually here is more or less stable. The great problem is that too much employers are so fixed to keep their jobs that they don't realize or recognize the plan by the elite to destroy Europe and so their jobs. One example, VW, Germany's biggest company for cars production, got a very big punishment by the American government. Everybody has heard about it. Therefore, I don't need to explain details. But I suspect no one in America knows that the German car buyers himself, who has bought VW, get no single compensation for the same fact.
Yeah, I mean, this is talking about Volkswagen, right? And
Yeah, Volkswagen, right.
yeah, I mean, this is something out to destroy a company seriously for something that
Yeah,
there is not even a proven damage, just because some politicians or bureaucrat in this case they decide how much they need to somehow set the standard. I mean, this is not about free market; it's about a tyrannical government that is not even anymore under legislation, but under regulations. So yes, I mean, I think for Volkswagen it's going to be very hard to recover by such a hit, especially
yeah,
for the California situation and the U.S. market. I don't know what's going to happen,
yeah.
but I'm sure reflecting this. Now, talking about, for the average guy, try to look for an entry job in Germany. Do you feel there is some sort of a competition with, for example, refugees applying for a job? Or maybe they don't apply for a job at all, they just get government, let's say, welfare. How's it working now with the new hundreds of thousands refugees? I mean, are they
You,
competing with your jobs?
you really can say that um, 98%, 98% of that refugees where they are coming inside here, they will not get a job because they are unemployed and they are not educated to work in our high standard civilization. They really come from a third world, where it's completely a different kind of working, of standards, and so on.
At least I remember when I was in Germany, it's true, even if you want to get a job as a janitor, okay? It's a very, entry job. At least let's say it's a job that you don't need much qualification, but still, the German standard for job, you need pretty much a qualification for everything, even for cleaning bathrooms. Seriously, there is some sort of a degree you gotta go through, at least some sort of a certificate. So that's pretty true. I mean, it's kind of tough. So you have a big burden as a society. When you pay taxes now, you're going to have to pay also for a huge amount of welfare for the refugees. That, by the way, some of them, they are not even refugees, we know very well. And don't get me wrong, I know very well that some of these people, they've been bombed the hell out of, and they were in Syria, they were minding their business, and unfortunately, NATO and the Obama administration, since they want to destabilize that area, they are creating the crisis. That's the problem. But among those, there is also a big part of the problem that they are not just refugees, but even if they are refugees, they import mostly Muslims with a cultural background completely, I believe, in my own opinion, I really believe 100% non-comparable with the Western society. That's a fact. Even if they are refugees, that they have poor guys, they've been bombed out of their own homes. And don't get me wrong, that's not their fault. But still, this was a planned invasion created by a planned crisis. And now you have the hordes completely breaking down the walls, invading your country and many other countries. Question, Jorg. Any other updates? How many numbers of refugees now you think Germany is facing right now so far?
Yeah, sure. Meanwhile, lots of things here in Germany had happened, like the absolutely orchestrated fates flag operation in Munich, um, and two times refugee attackers with an axe in trains, where a lot of people were injured. But since that, there is silence. What they are going on to plan? Um, Lucas, since our last talk, yeah, um, what can I say? Many things gonna happen, but not to a positive access approach. Since countries like Slovenia, Austria, Hungary decided to build walls along their borders, our Chancellor Merkel has decided to write her own laws and to take the refugees now by airplanes to our country. Nearly every night, the invaders are coming. They are invaders. They are not refugees. Yeah, everyone knows that. Just a small part of them are coming by airplane over Munich and other airports in the night. This is a proven fact. Nearly daily, we are getting news about raping and stealing from immigrants. So the citizen getting more and more in fear. One of the breaking news is now that the mayor of Munich is planning a great wall around the coming Oktoberfest, one of the world's well-known sightseeing in Bavaria. You know, um, because they have the fear that too much refugees could grabbing and disturbing to the female visitors. By the way, backpacks are not allowed to carry. It's a great shame to our country. Refugee rapists, stealer, and drugs dealer don't even have to fear great repressions. The punishments are very small and opposite to what the citizens would get punished if they were to have the same. We recognize a completely two different kind of acting in our justice, how they are working against their own people. And yes, uh, sorry, I just had
No
a,
problem. Let me ask you something. This is important what you're saying. I didn't want to interrupt you. The point is that last time we talked, it was the beginning of the waves of this invasion, as you said, and I agree with you. Now it's already a few stages deeper, and I see that unfortunately the German government that doesn't represent anymore the German people, but represent the interests of the globalists. They want more, more, and more, and seems like really it's like a self-destruction, like a suicidal mission to destroy completely also not just your economy,
absolutely,
but also
absolutely.
to destroy your identity. Because in one generation from now, as I said, I'm not racist. I like everybody, but at the same time, as I said at the beginning of this conversation, I like to think that every country has their identity, and if they want one day they will, let's say, morph or change into something different, is done by naturally, not just by intervention of this global government, try to force this new creation of this mud race. And by the way, I didn't say that, guys, listeners, if you're listening to this. The mud race is a term that was somehow created by this globalist New World Order piece of crap, Mr. Kalergi, in the 30s. He wrote a book, The Destruction of the Sovereignty of Each European Country and the Creation of the European, let's say, new state. And at that point, to create this new race of blended, especially with the northern, the south part of Europe, more important, I don't even call it Europe, north part of Africa, third world countries mixed and blended with the European countries to destroy their national sovereignty. Why they want that? Because they want to create a new generation, a new race of subhumans. That's what they're saying. I didn't say that. They want to create people that they have no more, really any type of identity culturally, and also they are substandard. They think of us like we are a bunch of zombies, like almost monkeys. And by the way, monkeys are much smarter than many men I know, but that's another story. Anyway, so what to do, man? Because I'm really concerned. It breaks my heart. And I know this is not just a German problem. Italy is the same situation, maybe even worse, I guess. What are the German people can do? What you think? What is the vibe from the German people? Are they ready to do some opposition?
It's so silent among the folks. I don't know why. I have the feeling that they are so shocked that they doesn't know what's going on now here. Yeah. Um, but to your question before, if as you told about Kudenhof Kalergi, do you know that Merkel has got a prize from Coudenhof College in 2008, the
Yes.
Coudenhof College Prize. Yeah,
Yes, because exactly she's one of the puppets of the
right.
elites, and she's following the orders, and
Yeah,
that's exactly the plan. And by the way, Italy, the same story. There is this I forgot her name, Boldrini. I think she's the Speaker of the House in the Italian government. She's another Calergi followers. I mean, they pick these puppets, they give them power, they give them money. It's like the devil making the offer that you cannot refuse, and then your God, I mean, they give you a mission to destroy your national identity of your own country. These people are traitors. And I don't know how. I hope and pray that the European people from every community, every country, they will revolt. And I say this word very carefully, revolt. There is a point that people can't take it so much. And I hope it's going to be a peaceful revolution, like almost in V for Vendetta, when people they're going to get up off their couches and start to march directly towards the buildings. They're supposed to be the people buildings, not these globalist buildings, and give them a chance to pack their stuff, jump on their private jet, and get out. I rather the option of being arrested. They're supposed to all be arrested and really trial for treason. But I don't know. But something must happen. Now, what do you think about the latest news regarding the German government and also the Czech government, not just the German government, to give advices to stock up on food and cash? I mean, that's never heard before, honestly. They must have any reason why they're saying that. What do you think?
For Germany, it was unbelievable to get a message like this. It gives two different theories. The one is that they know there will be happens a bigger false flag operation in closest future. That's what uh, Simon Parkes has told in a very urgent and important interview yesterday to a German community, that this Feldvorlag is planned by the American government.
Wow.
You listen right.
Wow.
I can't believe it. I think probably perhaps with help from ISIS. Luca, perhaps we can play this interview in.
Yes.
It's just about 3 minutes.
Yes. And by
With
the way,
German translation. Is that okay for you?
yes, it's Simon Parkes, and this is a very fresh interview from yesterday, and there is also a translation. And as I said, I don't know the whole story, but I tell you, we need to have an open mind, listen, and hopefully, we hope they are wrong. That's all I can say. But let's have an open mind. Let's listen.
Hi Simon, this is Evelyn, your country coordinator from Germany and for Europe, and I understand you have a message for us, all of us.
Thank you, Evelyn. This is a message for the German CC Group.
Vielen Dank. Das ist eine Nachricht, eine Botschaft für die CC-Gruppe Connecting Consciousness in Deutschland.
You are aware of the German government's announcement regarding food and water storage.
Ihr habt sicherlich mitbekommen, dass die deutsche Regierung eine Warnung oder eine Empfehlung rausgegeben hat, dass wir Wasser und Essen lagern sollten.
You are being told that this is because of a possible terrorist attack.
Euch wird gesagt, dass es wegen einer möglichen terroristischen Attacke ist oder sein soll.
You know that this is nonsense.
Du weißt auch, dass das Blödsinn ist, oder ihr wisst auch.
There have been terrorist attacks before, and you have never been required to store food and water.
Es gab früher schon Terroranschläge und es wurde nie gesagt, dass ihr Wasser und Essen lagern sollt.
The real reason is that Germany fears an attack from America.
Der wahre Grund ist, dass Deutschland, die Bundesregierung, einen Angriff von Amerika aus befürchtet.
This is what we would call a false flag attack on German soil.
Das ist, was wir als False Flag, also falscher Angriff auf deutschem Boden bezeichnen würden.
This is why Germany has made a public announcement to its people to get ready for some sort of emergency.
Das ist der Grund, weshalb die deutsche Regierung an die deutsche Bevölkerung diese Empfehlung rausgegeben hat.
I can also announce today that the Czech Republic government has made the same announcement.
Ich kann noch heute sagen, dass die Regierung der Tschechischen Republik genau die gleiche Empfehlung an ihre Bevölkerung rausgegeben hat.
The hope is that the German government has called the bluff of the Americans.
Die Hoffnung ist, dass die deutsche Regierung das als Bluff der amerikanischen Regierung rüberbringt.
Nobody wants to be a chancellor of a country that doesn't exist any longer.
Keiner will ein Chancellor sein von einem Land, was nicht mehr, die es nicht mehr gibt, ein Land, das es nicht mehr gibt.
That is why Angela Merkel is actually turning against her own Illuminati Lord and Masters.
Das ist der Grund, weshalb Angela Merkel sich gegen die Illuminaten wendet.
London, England is also a target now.
London in England ist jetzt auch ein Ziel.
The financial centre of England may well receive a false flag attack.
Das finanzielle Zentrum in London, Square Mile, London City, wird auch ein Angriffsziel werden.
So it is not just Germany, but it is all countries that are now threatened.
Also es gilt jetzt nicht nur für Deutschland, sondern für alle Länder, die angegriffen werden.
Wow. Oh, wow. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Well, listen, all I can say, we must have an open mind to everything, because after you understand the 9/11, the fraud and the false flag and many other things, and the proofs that Obama administration has been financing and supporting the ISIS, and Hillary been supporting ISIS and this trafficking of weapons. I mean, this is no more any type of conspiracy. This is reality. So can be possible. All I know that, as you said, I never heard the German government in all my life, maybe beside when they were in World War II, doing this type of announcement, and now also the Czech government. So something must be going on. And we know very well that ISIS or Al-Qaeda, they are creations of, let's say, the raw government, and the CIA can control this entity for false flag. That's a fact, like happened already. So that's what you think too, right, Jorg, about what could happen, maybe some false flag in Germany?
I do think so, of course.
Yeah.
You have to know, the attacks we got here were just starting step by step, one day to another. Yeah. And then it was quiet, nothing more. And that's now 5 weeks ago. And therefore, in my opinion, I'm thinking they are planning now another disaster. The first, what we have seen, was just a test to see how the population is reacting of this. And yeah, of course, I'm thinking there is something in planning.
Yeah, and I believe also this is connected to the economic situation that is almost ready to crash. I mean, there is so much that can sustain it, this sort of a fraud, because, you know, all this economy is being propped up the last 7-8 years by an illusion of the bankers. The reality that we have not anymore an economy. I mean, the numbers, they unsustainable. We have here almost $20 trillion just in national debt without the interest. And I'm sure Germany is getting to a point they never had before. They are maxing up our credit cards. And now there is a point we have a day of reckoning, and we're going to come to a point that the system is going to collapse, and they will push it to collapse, and they need to have an excuse. After all, was a terrorist attack, and they tried to cover their tracks of all the trillions of dollars that they stole from us, from these unconstitutional wars, or from the Pentagon. Did you hear the Pentagon? I don't know how many trillions of dollars just a few days ago, mainstream news for a second. They are unaccountable. I don't know how many trillions, more than $6 trillion of dollars. They are unaccountable. I mean, that's blood and tears and work from our tax dollar. $6 trillion of American dollars, they are gone. And they can tell us where they're gone.
In deep channels.
Yeah. So there is something, I'm sure, and I pray I'm wrong. I said to my listeners, I don't want to sound alarmistic. I pray that we are wrong. I pray that all this is maybe just misinformation or disinformation. But at the same time, what if this is real? What if tomorrow we have no more even internet to communicate? We're going to be under martial law. Maybe it's going to be a false flag so big. Maybe a nuke's going to be exploded somewhere. And we're going to be living like in a new world. And that's exactly what we got to prepare now. I had during the second hour this U.S. Marine veteran that we were talking about preparation, food, water, what to do, basic things that normally people in a normal society, they don't need. They don't think they're going to need it. But we got to prepare. You have a little bit of preparation for yourself and your family, Jorg, when it comes down to food and water down there.
I'm living here alone. I'm single.
Okay. But anyway, I don't know if you have any parents around to take care of somebody,
Yeah,
but, just try to have a plan as much as you can, because,
I do, of course.
well, what can I say? I pray for you as I pray for us, because we are not going to be, if something happens to you guys, we're going to be next, or maybe at the same time. That was Jorg from Germany, and I want just to say now, we're almost at the end. We are pretty much, I have a little second break, and then I want to wrap it up. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna. Don't go away.
He's a songwriter, a poet, a rifleman.
I'm not afraid.
And a constitutional activist.
I'm not afraid.
Italian by birth.
I'm not afraid.
American by choice. Gianluca Zanna.
I'm not afraid.
And his new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom. 16 powerful songs on one CD from the heart of a patriot. For download or to order the CD, go to www.lovegunsfreedom.com. That's www.lovegunsfreedom.com. Lyrics for your mind, music for your heart. Gianluca Zanna's new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom.
Here we go, guys. Final hour, final segment. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna on K-Talks 1340 AM. There is this topic that is really, it breaks my heart. This is for me probably one of the most important forms of love. Caring about dramas that are happening to other human beings and also can happen to us, let me tell you. Child Protective Services. This is not even the right word. I would like to call it legalized kidnapping by the state. Yes, it's legalized because, they think they have a badge and they can do whatever they want. And that's what it's about. I have a person that I had last Sunday, if I will remember, yes. And she's a candidate for the Libertarian Party for the Senate, U.S. Senate. But that's not even the point. Today, I really wanted just to have a little glance of what's going on with the situation in Arizona of a family having their family destroyed, their life destroyed by the CPS. But more important, I would like to say what we're going to do today, we're going to have an idea of what we're going to talk next Sunday, because this is going to be the topic of the first hour, exposing the Child Protective Services, what they're doing and what they've done to this family. Marissa Hamilton, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Please, we have limited time. Give us the short story of this family, what happened to this family, that they were from Arizona, but they were in Nevada, just where they got pretty much kidnapped lately, a few days ago.
Sure, it's absolutely tragic. So the Shores family, they had their children taken from them by the state back in 2014. They spent 600 days fighting the state, but they were awarded their children, and all charges by the Arizona DCS were dropped. They moved to Las Vegas, Nevada. They had another baby. When they were in the hospital, it came up in the system that they needed to be investigated. They later found out that it was Arizona that made the allegations for Nevada to investigate. Nevada cleared them in the investigation. And then on Thursday, Arizona went up there with an order to remove them from the state, and they forcibly removed the children. And when I say forcibly, I mean, they violently removed the children from this home. If you go on to medicalkidnap.com, the article is right up there about the Shores family. They went to them. They brought up the same allegations from 2014 that were dismissed, and they kidnapped all of the children from that home except for the newborn baby. Since the baby was born in Nevada, they don't have jurisdiction over that child.
I have a question. What are these allegations? By the way, they were dropped. So we know that there is no due process with CPS. They can just do everything they want just because they're guessing or because they have a suspicious. I mean, this is way beyond any type of due process. What are the allegations?
So the allegations are that they are physically and sexually abusing the children.
Do they have any proof? I mean, since they lost their case, for them it's it's a big deal.
No,
I mean,
in fact, in the documentation that they provided, this family was in Nevada at the time. They're saying that they were abusing their children in Arizona.
Okay. Well, I know that there is an audio that I'd like to play briefly right now before we finish the show. This is something that even the CPS, they were thinking they were doing something right. The drama and the shock that they're going to imprint in the minds and the souls of these children, it is just unbelievable. This belongs for me to a scene of the Holocaust. Stay there, listen. These are the kids screaming when they are kidnapped by the Arizona CPS in Nevada, of course. Listen to this happening in America. I mean, if these children they were so afraid of this family, they wouldn't scream like that when they see the rescuers. That's a fact. Disgusting. And there is more, I will play the audio next Sunday with Marissa Hamilton. We will go more in deeper into this case. By the way, the oldest child fears for life in return to the Arizona foster parent. Okay. And by the way, don't forget that this foster parent situation, it's a big money machine. The state coughed up our tax dollar. We pay a bunch of money for this. This is a big market. I was learning about $75,000 for a child. I mean, this is huge. So anyway, I have one more minute, Marissa, and then we will go next Sunday. God's willing, we will talk deeper about that. I give you the floor.
All right. So the other piece that's important to know is the children, when they were in the foster care home, they reported that they were being sexually and physically abused. That's part of the reason why they're screaming in such terror. They're screaming, they're going to kill us. Sure. They said, I'm not going back to Mrs. The foster home mom. She's going to kill us. She's got weapons. And then also, if you go to medicalkidnap.com, there's a picture when the father, he rushed home to try to say goodbye to his kids. The police physically restrained him and put a gun to his head and would not let him say goodbye.
Wow. And this is, by the way, these children, they are not, I mean, some of them, they are teenagers, so at least they're enough to understand, they can articulate.
No, they're 11.
Yeah, I mean, they
can
think.
The oldest is 11.
So they can say what they think. They can say what they witness. It's not like you have an infant, okay? So this is disturbing that they have no even saying in all this. They want to stay with mom and dad. If they were so afraid of mom and dad, they would have said something. Listen, Marissa, thank you very much for bringing this to my attention. And you guys and girls out there, please stay safe. And don't forget, we got to really do something, everything we can even just keep educating ourselves, because what's happening right now in this state or in America in general, there is so much we have to do. We cannot let this happen and be silent. That's the bottom line. You've been listening to Love, Guns and Freedom with Luca Zanna on K-Talks 1340 AM. Don't forget, go to lovegunsfreedom.com, and God's willing, I will talk to you next Sunday.